Today's Liberation Day in California. Liberation Day, you say?
To recognize today is Liberation Day in the state of California. And as Senator Schiff said, Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. To recognize.
That's true. So I believe this is in reference to him announcing to do a referendum, right, Boy Meets Mini? Referendum in November? Referendum in November to vote to go ahead with a special session to do the redistricting. And he's going to take away 5 seats to do basically a riposte to the proposed maps that the Republicans are doing in Texas, right? What's the likelihood that this passes? I mean, like, I would think that Californians, generally speaking, have very, very good reasons to be particularly pissed about the actions of the Trump administration, given what happened in LA. And I mean, the messaging around that has been, it was a little shaky at first, but is now fairly solid and fucking consistent. Talk about, like, yeah, this was unnecessary. We've done the legal action. We've done the recourse that we're supposed to do. It's up to the fucking courts to figure it out. Blah, 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 kind of a deal, right? Like, I mean, this is going to make Gavin Newsom look quite good, considering, like, he's probably a hopeful for the fucking presidency, if I were to take a bet. I don't know, like, if you know anything about the vibe that's going on, in particular, Boy Meets Mini, but, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, he wants to take away 5 seats. I mean, I would have much preferred to have him to do the 9-seat takeaway, the 52-0 sort of gerrymandering map from I don't remember the name of the Twitter account, but she basically made a bunch of maps saying, like, here is a 52-0 California gerrymandered electoral map, making it such that there are only nothing but Paris plus 10 seats in districts, and basically makes it such that it is impossible for the Republicans to ever win. CA State Senate is 30 Democrats, 10 Republicans. I don't see why this doesn't happen. Well, I mean, he said it's a referendum that he's having, right? Boy Meets Mini, so that means the people are going to vote on it, right? Like, I'm not talking about the Republicans can't do anything about stopping the referendum. The referendum is going to happen. It just depends on how the constituents are going to vote at this point. Because I anticipate there's going to be a lot of fucking right-wing groups who are going to do everything possible in order to try to stop this. And it's going to be up to how well the Democrats within the state of California are going to say, like, oh, do you want Trump to, like, continue doing the fuck shit possible that he's been doing within Los Angeles and, like, broadly speaking within Texas? Well, you have a chance to potentially stop that if you vote for this referendum. Vote like this, blah, 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 and do, like, a quick little fucking tutorial kind of a deal. Yada, yada, yada. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Shit like that. And I think that would be quite effective politically for Gavin Newsom and the Democrats to do. But yeah, what do we have here? A video. Calls on the Democrats to meet fire with fire. I agree.
We're here because Donald Trump, on January 6th, tried to light democracy on fire, tried to wreck this country, tried to steal an election, as Alex just said, by trying to dial in for 11, almost 12,000 votes. And here we are, in open and plain sight, before one vote is cast in the 2026 midterm election. And here he is once again trying to rig the system. He doesn't play by a different set of rules. He doesn't believe in the rules. And as a consequence, we need to disabuse ourselves of the way things have been done. It's not good enough to just hold hands, have a can.
I mean, this is going to be pretty overall good rhetoric here by Gavin Newsom, right? Because again, like, people, broadly speaking, are quite sick and tired of how, like, general politics is being run. So him saying, like, guys, we just got to fucking do what we've not been doing before, because it's just not working, it's not effective. Because again, the opponents on the other side, well, they don't give a shit about playing about the on the fucking current rules. They don't give a shit about any of that stuff. So you know what? Fine, whatever. We're just gonna play by our own rules as well.
Candlelight vigil and talk about the way the world should be. We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire, and we've got to be held to a higher level of accountability. So that's what this is about. It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats. We're doing it in reaction to that act. We're doing it mindful.
You know, I don't like the fact that he's saying that it's in reaction. I would have preferred if it was, like, aggressive or whatever. Just be like, okay, fuck you. Like, a sort of, like, a finally kind of recognition saying, like, you know what? We've had enough. We've had enough of all the stupid bullshit and cheating that the Republicans love to fucking constantly do. It's all of this complete, utter nonsense, conjecture, bullshit, complete, utter nonsense. And we've had enough. So, you know what? If they want to cheat, we're going to fucking cheat too. No more of this fucking high road bullshit, because no one cares about the fucking high road bullshit. But I mean, it's still going to be effective, right? Like, people are going to be for this because it's just like, yeah, finally, the Democrats are actually going to do something crazy.
Of our higher angels and better angels. We're doing it mindful that we want to model better behavior, as we've been doing for 15 years in the state of California with our independent redistricting commission. But we cannot unilaterally disarm.
I do think, because this is a point that the majority report constantly brings up, and I agree with this. The Democrats are finally recognizing the mistake that they made with this independent redistricting fucking bullshit, right? So, you know, I think it's good to sort of see that there is some recognition going on amongst fucking state Democrats who I generally have a lot more fucking faith in comparison to federal Democrats who are completely fucking useless. But I think it's a sort of like good general change of pace that finally, like, Democrats are going to push for something. And I mean, and again, it's not only California that's going to be doing this. Pritzker's probably going to try to potentially do something, even though, like, Illinois is already heavily fucking gerrymandered as is. Who knows exactly what kind of shenanigans Pritzker could do, but he's looking at potentially redrawing the maps, taking a look at the maps. And also Kathy Hochul, as I've said before, the most do-nothing of fucking Democrats are looking to actually now do something is also pretty fucking incredible to say that she's actually looking to do some kind of action. And as I believe already said that she's going to abolish or potentially abolish the independent redistricting sort of commission that is also in fucking New York. Because again, you know, if gerrymandering's allowed and the Republicans are going to cheat, because again, they have to cheat in order to win because, well, their policy is broadly incredibly unpopular and nobody fucking likes any of that shit. So, you know what? If they're going to cheat, we should also fucking cheat as well. Because fuck these motherfuckers, right?
We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear. We can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across this country, not just in Texas, but in Missouri, where J.D. Vance went just a week ago, in Indiana, in places like Ohio, in places like Florida. We need to stand up, not just California. Other blue states need to stand up. We need to be firm.
This is effective, dude. Like, I mean, we all know the meme that he's, like, angling to try to become the fucking president. We know this, but, like, stuff like this is going to fucking play well. It will.
Resolve.
It's gonna play pretty well, but what do we have here? Gavin Newsom, California's governor, said on Thursday that state Democratic lawmakers would move forward with a redistricting plan that could counter the Republican-led map-drawing efforts in Texas aimed at securing a House majority after the midterm elections. So, yeah, because they have to cheat, right? Broadly speaking, Donald Trump is underwater on every fucking issue except for, like, the southern border. That's, like, the only thing he's above water on, barely above water on. Otherwise, in terms of every other issue, he's negative in polling. Like, he is hemorrhaging political capital and good faith. As he spoke at the Japanese American National Museum's National Center for the Preservation of Democracy, a venue deliberately chosen for its symbolism, federal agents armed and masked fanned out across the complex, led by Gregory Bovino, head of the Border Patrol's El Castro sector. Local news footage spotted a man being led away in handcuffs. Oh yeah, so ICE decided to also show up to the fucking party, right? Like, I think Gavin Newsom also said that there were ICE agents there, which is a very obvious fucking intimidation tactic, right? Like, it's like there's no other fucking call to sort of like say it as besides it's like the purpose of it is to intimidate, right? Like, because Trump is obviously not very happy that Gavin Newsom is sort of, I suppose, leading the charge for the Democrats to actually show a backbone to try to do something about the fact that he and the Republicans are trying to blatantly cheat.
And I'm reminded where we are at this precious moment in time. We are in Los Angeles. The most diverse city, in the most diverse county, in the most diverse state, in the world's most diverse democracy. And I've long believed that the world...
I have a contention with that. Toronto beats you. I think Toronto basically has every single ethnicity and nationality within Toronto. Listen, we're doing a little bit of Canadian flexing, just a little bit. Okay, I have to listen, Gavin Newsom. Okay, I can't let you get away with that one. Okay, I'm gonna have to debunk that one. Toronto beats you. No, don't bring up Brampton. Get the hell out of here, Boy Meets Minnie. Listen, Boy Meets Minnie, I understand you want to fucking live in Brampton, bro. Okay, get out of here.
It looks to us, to all of you, to see it as possible to live together, advance together, and prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable difference. What makes LA great, what makes California great, and what makes the United States of America great is at our best, we don't tolerate our diversity, we celebrate our diversity. And it's a point of pride, because we're all in this together. Where are we? At Democracy Center. Yeah. And right outside, at this exact moment, are dozens and dozens of ICE agents. Now,
like, he's not wrong. ICE agents outside, Gavin Newsom press conference. Right, you can get some fucking images. Oh, there we go. Never mind. How about some local news footage instead?
Tonight, that striking scene outside a California event featuring the state's top Democratic figures, including Governor Gavin Newsom. A group of heavily armed Border Patrol agents conducting an operation near the venue in Los Angeles' Little Tokyo, saying they apprehended at least one person.
The reason for our presence...
I'm sure that they apprehended one person. Totally. I totally believe these, like, stupid Gestapo little freakazoids. You know, it's very, it's very convenient that at the very least that these fucking freaks in particular decided to come here unmasked. Interesting.
Here in Los Angeles is to make, first off, Los Angeles a safer community.
Newsom's team saying the action was made.
Yeah, dude, because Los Angeles was not a fucking safe community before you fucking freaks decided to come in. Yeah, dude, totally wasn't safe before. Quick reminder, literally the reason the Trump administration justified federalizing the National Guard without asking the governor if he can nationalize or federalize the National Guard, which is what you're supposed to do. So what he's doing is illegal, obviously. And also decided to deploy more ICE Gestapo freaks. First off, he wants to have his fucking little quota system be maintained and fulfilled, obviously. But also because of the fact that, basically... what was the fucking other point that I was going to say? Oh, yeah. Literally, it was because of fucking 5 Waymo fucking vehicles being turned over and burnt. That's the justification for, like, an attempted military fucking crackdown of Los Angeles. It's the stupidest shit on the fucking planet.
Meant as intimidation, because inside the hall, the governor and state lawmakers were announcing a partisan redistricting plan to combat a similar Republican-led effort in Texas, backed by President Trump.
Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back. We have got to meet fire with fire.
Agents seen patrolling the area on foot and in vehicles before eventually entering the nearby federal building.
right outside, at this exact moment,
I wonder why they're
dozens
doing
and dozens
that.
of ICE agents. You think it's coincidental?
There was no reason in the world for them to come here. Nothing to do with safety. In fact, this is the exact opposite of keeping our city safe. We do not need them here, and they had no business to come here and provoke this.
Again, like, as much as I don't like Karen Bass, she's just correct. She's right. And this is going to make her look good, like, in terms of, like, popularity, which I assume was probably flailing before. But, like, I don't know if you can attest to that, Boy Meets Minnie, but all of the, like I said before, initially she was rather rocky at the beginning when the Gestapo freaks decided to show up in LA, but now she's on very, very fucking consistent messaging, and it's going to make her look good.
A short time ago, we learned of a death related to a separate immigration action also taking place here in Los Angeles. A man apparently was fleeing ICE agents. He was hit by a car and killed. And Governor Newsom's office telling me that operation here outside the event, a strawberry...
So fucking ICE were the main ones who did that. Nice meme. So that's cool. Fantastic. Great. Yeah, totally not being an intimidation tactic. Very, very cool. That's true, AJ. That is true.
Donald Trump, do you think it's coincidental? No. Donald Trump and his minions, Tom Homan, Tom Back, clearly decided, coincidentally or not, that this was a location to advance ICE arrest. Indiscriminate? Perhaps. We'll find out later. It was certainly indiscriminate when a 15-year-old disabled boy had a gun put to his head in Los Angeles trying to go to school just a few days ago. I don't need to belabor this, except I want to level set. People are scared. People are fearful. You know, United States senators thrown down on the ground in a federal building. Alex Padilla.
I believe that, yeah, okay, yeah, you just said it. Yeah, Alex, that's in reference to Alex Padilla when he went up to do his job, basically, because he was a part of a subcommittee on immigration, asking Kristi Noem when she was also doing her little press conference with her ICE Gestapo freaks surrounding her, decided to, like, throw Alex Padilla down on the ground and fucking arrest him for, like, no reason. For, what was the crime? Asking her a question.
J.D. Vance's name is Alex Padilla, not Jose Padilla. That's the Vice President of the United States.
Yeah, you should probably know those names, huh? But then again, you know, we all know why J.D. Vance probably said Jose, because he's racist. Well, crazy. Who would have thought? Newsom, joined by congressional Democrats and legislative leaders, unveiled a plan known as the Election Rigging Response Act that would override California's Independent Redistricting Commission and draw new congressional lines, a direct counter to a Texas effort set out by Donald Trump. We've talked about this before. To push through a mid-cycle maps that could hand Republicans 5 extra House seats. Because again, the Republicans know that what they're doing is, broadly speaking, heavily unpopular. Trump knows what he's doing is very unpopular and that he's underwater in the fucking polls. So instead of having to face the fucking music for the fact that he was doing idiotic, belligerent bullshit, he is trying to cheat instead. Because, again, the census is, not census, but the maps, rather, are redrawn every fucking 10 years after the census is done. So, it's very peculiar that about halfway through the fucking, halfway through the decade, the Republicans are calling for the redrawing of the maps. And it's just like, but that's a little interesting, a little weird. Why is Trump being the main guy who's calling for these redrawing of these maps? It's because he wants to fucking cheat. That's the point. The governor vowed the move would neuter and neutralize Texas's proposal. Today's Liberation Day in the state of California, Newsom declared in Los Angeles, in which he formally called out a November 4th special election. Okay, so it was November 4th. Can't stand back and watch this democracy disappear district by district all across the country. After the rally, Newsom called the presence of Border Patrol agents sick and pathetic and accused Trump of ordering the operation to intimidate Democrats. I can't, he's just correct here. The purpose of them being there was to intimidate. That's not ridiculous to say. Wake up, America. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, Democrat who was not attending the event, arrived to the scene to condemn the raid. Remarks to reporters, she argued it was not a coincidence. White House has sent federal agents trying to intimidate elected officials at a press conference. Sent in a social media post. The problem for them is Los Angeles doesn't get scared and Los Angeles doesn't back down. We never have and we never will. Department of Homeland Security said Bass must be misinformed. Dog, we saw the fucking footage. What, bro, do you really need, how many fucking freaks here? Couple dozen fucking freaks in order to arrest one fucking guy? Really? Really, you need, a couple dozen dudes. Yeah, misinformed, quote-unquote. I'm sure. Our law enforcement operations are about enforcing the law, not Gavin Newsom. Sure, man, totally. Even though the fact that you're there is illegal. You guys are all about enforcing the law. I'm certain. CBP patrols all areas of Los Angeles every day with over 40 teams on the ground to make LA safe. Even though, Boy Meets Mini, can you corroborate this? Has LA been made safer with all these, stupid customs border protection patrols all over the place? Can you corroborate this? Has LA been made more safe? Nope. It's more dangerous to get around. Thank you, Boy Meets Mini. Tristan McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary, said in a post, the California map would only take effect if Texas or any other Republican-led state advanced a partisan redistricting plan. Oh, your crime rate hasn't decreased either. Ah, very cool. Newsom said he preferred all states to adopt independent commissions, as California does, and had previously sent a letter to Donald Trump that he would happily stand down if Texas abandoned its effort. I don't think he should stand down, to be honest. Just fucking do it. Just commit. Because again, if you stand down, because they're never gonna fucking stand down. He should just make it as partisan as possible. Fuck it. Who cares? Fuck these people. They shouldn't be trusted. Nothing they say should be believed. Like, why treat them with any grace? They'll never treat you with any grace or mercy. So you should never show them any mercy ever. I know that the Texas Democrats, because of the end of the special session, because it only lasts about 2 weeks, so they decided to go back to the Texas State House because the session itself ended. Now, there's nothing that stops Greg Abbott to, in particular, call another session and then do the fucking vote. From what I understand, the Texas Democrats themselves believe that they were able to delay for fucking long enough. Personally, I think they should just, if another special session is called again for the, recreation of those maps, they should just leave again. Just leave again. Go to Illinois again. Just be like, okay, you want to keep doing this? Okay, sure. We can play this song and dance. We're just going to leave again. Fuck it. What are you guys going to do about it? You can't do shit about it. You need us there. So if we just leave, what do? They can't do shit. That's the point. Take only effect. Happily sit down. Earlier on Thursday, a group of Texas Democrats who had blocked a vote on the measure by fleeing the state, again, that's by breaking quorum, said they were prepared to end their 2-week walkout when California releases its redrawn map proposal. Their return to the state legislature would allow Republicans to plow ahead. Accepting that reality, Newsom said California, with a population larger than the 21 smallest states combined, would not unilaterally disarm. It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States saying, "Find me 5 seats." In a recent interview, Trump claimed that Republicans were entitled to 5 more seats. It's not how that works, right? Like, the maps have already been drawn since fucking 2020. Why are they entitled to 5 more seats? Again, it's really emblematic that he decides to frame it as they are entitled to more seats, because the point is not about representation. Republicans do not want to represent you. They want to rule you. It's not about being a representative. Because he won the state overwhelmingly in the 2024 presidential election. Whoa, it's a fucking not Democratic. It's a Republican state that he won overwhelmingly. That means he's entitled to having 5 more seats. None of that works. Cope and seethe. New map, Newsom said, would remain in place through the 2030 elections, after which map-making power would return to the Independent Redistricting Commission. That's pretty fucking cowardly, but whatever. Approved by voters more than a decade ago. The Democrat-led state legislature will introduce legislation on Monday. He added, expressing confidence the initiative would pass and ultimately prevail at the ballot box in November. I guess, in terms of the whole, democracy shtick that's being said here, I guess in that particular aspect, it is principled, right? Because he's just we're having a referendum on this, we're doing this in reaction, yada yada. It's all about democracy, yada yada. And the Independent Redistricting Commission was voted in by the voters. So, again, principled in that particular respect. California has 52 seats, 43 held by Democrats in several of the nation's most competitive races, including a handful that help Republicans claim the majority in 2024. How California voters will respond is uncertain. Polls have found deep support for the state's Independent Redistricting Commission, suggesting Democrats will have to work quickly over the next 3 months to persuade voters to support their plan. Sarah Sadwani, a Democrat who served on the California's 2020 Independent Redistricting Commission, said she wanted partisan gerrymandering banned nationwide. Well, unfortunately, if it doesn't get banned nationwide, and the only way to do that is probably either through the Supreme Court or some legislation being passed in Congress, and we all know those two things are definitely not fucking happening. At that point, instead of having principle and doing this in the Independent Redistricting Commission, fuck it, cheat. They're gonna cheat, so you should just cheat. Who cares? But in Los Angeles on Thursday, Sadwani stood side by side with Newsom. Lawmakers, labor leaders, and advocates in support of tearing up the new maps she helped to draw. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. Common Cause, a good government group, that has long opposed partisan map making, sent in a statement this week that it would ultimately not preemptively oppose the effort by California to redraw its maps in response to partisan redistricting in Texas. A blanket condemnation at this moment would be sitting on the sidelines in the face of authoritarianism, the group stated. Eric Holder, a former attorney general and chair of the National Democratic Redistricting Committee, said on Thursday that he backed responsible and responsive countermeasures to Trump's extreme and unjustified mid-decade gerrymanders in Texas and beyond. Our democracy is under attack. We have no choice to defend it. Republicans have denounced the California proposal, of course. Gavin Newsom's latest stunt has nothing to do with Californians and everything to do with consolidating radical Democratic power. Oh, unlike the radical fucking Republican power that has been constantly consolidated throughout all of their partisan gerrymandered maps. I'm certain. Christian Martinez, the National Republican Congress Congressional Committee spokesperson, said in a statement accusing the government of trampling the will of California voters to serve a pathetic 2028 presidential pipe dream. Very, very funny that this is coming from fucking the Republicans in particular, because again, if they could have trampled on the will of fucking voters, they would within a fucking heartbeat. And the reason why they have to maintain the facade is because American institutions are still, to some particular extent, within place and still have the strength that they do. Or they're just too cowardly themselves to actually fucking go ahead with the military fucking dictatorship that they would want to build. Because, again, they know that, broadly speaking, there would be a national revolt if they were to try to do that shit. At the rally in Los Angeles, there was little sympathy for the half-dozen California Republicans who could be out of a job if the redistricting plan succeeds. Speaking before the government, Jody Hicks, the president and chief executive for Planned Parenthood affiliates of California, had a message for the 9 Republicans who back legislation rolling back reproductive rights. You take away our freedoms, we'll take away your seats. Based. Texas's pursuit of new maps has kicked off a redistricting arms race. Guys, it's almost as if, like, it's not a good thing to fucking do this, because, again, it's going to prompt a bunch of other people to do it, and it's going to become a fucking complete shit show. It's almost as if there's a lot of problems with the democracy that the U.S. has. Who would have thought? That has spread to state legislators across the country, leaders in Florida and Missouri, and in blue states such as New York and Illinois. How the fuck is Florida and Missouri going to get more fucking seats, potentially? Like, maybe in Florida, maybe. Missouri? Really? I can only assume that Missouri is already like a completely partisan, gerrymandered fucking shithole. And in blue states such as New York and Illinois are weighing similar moves. Other blue states need to stand up, Newsom said. The campaign, with a freshly launched website, will be enormously costly and is expected to draw national attention and donors eager for a high-stakes, off-year political brawl. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, a Republican who championed independent redistricting, has already voiced opposition. Well, unfortunately for you, Arnold, if you have a problem with this, then, you know, I mean, okay, I shouldn't talk too much shit on Arnold here in particular, because he probably is not a fan of what is particularly going on, but unfortunately, drastic times call for fucking drastic members. So, oh well, time to fucking gerrymander. Cope and seethe about it, I guess. Newsom said he had spoken to Schwarzenegger and shared his disdain for gerrymandering, but argued that it was about preserving American democracy. Not good enough to just hold hands, have a candlelight vigil. We have to recognize cards being dealt, have to fight fire with fire. Oh, okay, that's the end of it. Very cool. Yeah, okay. That was a very, very abrupt venting. I was expecting, like, some kind of fucking conclusion or something, but there was a donation, like, that caught me off guard. But yeah, you know, I'm in full support of this partisan gerrymandering attempt that is being undertaken by the fucking Democrats. Because, again, Republicans have never played by the rules. They don't care about playing by the rules. They have never cared about playing by the rules. And, again, it's all about doing everything possible to be as... I was going to say as unfair as possible. I'm just going to say as partisan as possible. Because, again, the reason why the Republicans in particular are doing this kind of stuff, because for them, it is not about representation. For them, it is about rule. They do not want to represent you. They want to rule you. That is the fucking point of all of this. So at this point, you can't really do anything else besides fight fire with fire. That is what should have been done from the beginning, is to fight fire with fire. But unfortunately, the Democrats decided not to go with that, and here we are, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, I guess fortunately, it is a good thing that now they are deciding to be incredibly fucking partisan about this stuff, because again, the Republican Party will never show the same grace or sympathy at any point in time. So, yeah, you should just be fighting fire with fire, because again, the Republican Party could give less of a fuck. Again, for them, it is all about rule, not representation. Don't think there's really much else to say besides more Democrats should just be fighting dirty, because again, Republicans are never going to show the same grace or sympathy to Democrats ever.